Hello there, I'm Alexi from Lexawise. Today, we're tackling a critical topic for your real estate exam: appraisal and valuation math formulas. Understanding appraisal and valuation formulas is absolutely essential for exam day. You'll encounter questions that test your ability to calculate property values and understand the methods used to determine them. Here's what we're diving into today: sale comparison approach, cost approach, depreciation. This crash course applies to the national portion of real estate exams, so it's relevant no matter where you're studying. Get ready to take notes and lock in these formulas. All this information is available on our website, lexawise.com. You can explore these topics in detail, access our interactive exam prep tools, and even practice with simulated exams at your own pace. Check the link in the description below to get started. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Hit the like button and turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson. All right, let's jump in.
Lexawise, Real Estate Exam Prep.
First up, the sale comparison approach. This method compares a property to similar ones recently sold in the area to estimate its value. The formula is house value equals comparable sale price plus or minus adjustments. Let's try a practice question. This is the kind of thing you'll see on the test, and it's perfect for using our formula. A house has a pool worth $8,000. Last week, a similar home without a pool but with an extra room valued at $1,200 sold for $195,000. If we use the sales comparison approach, how much would the house's value be? Answer choices: A, $500,000, B, $768,000, C, $200, $1,800, D, $135,000. First, let's separate the data from the question. This will make it much easier to analyze. House we're valuing with the pool equals X. We don't know the price yet. That's what we're about to find out. Pool value equals $8,000. Comparable house equals $195,000. It didn't have a pool but had an extra room worth $1,200. So extra room equals $1,200. Let's read the question again. If we use the sales comparison approach, how much would the house's value be? So in the problem, we need to find the main house value using the sales comparison approach. Let's write here the formula again. House value equals comparable sale price plus or minus adjustments. Now, let's add the values we have for this case. House value equals $195,000, which is the price of a similar property, plus or minus the value adjustments. Remember, this method is all about comparing the property you're valuing to a similar one that's recently sold and adjusting for differences in features or amenities between them. The comparable house sold for $195,000, but its features differ from the house we're valuing. Here's why we adjust. The comparable house lacks a pool, so we need to add the value of the pool, $8,000, to the base price. The comparable house has an extra room, which our house doesn't. So we need to subtract the value of the extra room, $1,200, from the base price. So our formula ends up looking like this. House value equals comparable sale price minus value adjustments. Let's substitute the values we know. House value equals 195,000 plus 8,000 minus 1,200. $8,000 is added because our house has a pool, which increases its value. $1,200 is subtracted because our house doesn't have the extra room, which decreases its value. So house value equals 195,000 plus 8,000 minus 1,200. Solve inside the parentheses first. 8,000 minus 1,200 equals 6,800. Now plug it back into the formula. House value equals 195,000 plus 6,800. House value equals $201,800. The answer is C, $201,800. Simple, right? By making these adjustments, you get an accurate estimate of the house's market value. Keep this formula handy. It's a favorite on the real estate exam. Another important formula is the cost approach. The cost approach values property by calculating the cost to build it minus depreciation plus the land value. Basically, it asks, if we had to rebuild this exact house from the ground up today, How much would it cost? Honestly, it's not our go-to for your typical family home. We use it most for properties that are really unique or don't have a lot of comparable sales. For example, if you're trying to value a one-of-a-kind house or special use properties, things like a church, a school, or a library that you can't really compare to the house next door. Here is the formula. Property value equals land value plus the total of replacement cost minus depreciation. You take the cost of building the property, subtract some money for wear and tear, that's the depreciation, and then add the value of the land it's sitting on. Let's read together this question example. A property has the following characteristics. Land value, $75,000. Replacement cost of the building, $250,000. Depreciation of the building, $25,000. Using the cost approach, what is the total value of the property? Answer. Choices: A, $300,000, B, $325,000, C, $350,000, D, $375,000. As always, we note the data the question gives us. We have the land value, $75,000, the replacement cost of the building, $250,000, and the depreciation of the building, $25,000. Now let's solve this step by step. Step 1. Find the current value of the building. Depreciation represents the loss in value of the building over time due to wear and tear, age, or outdated features. To find the current value of the building, we need to subtract this loss from its replacement cost. Replacement cost of the building, $250,000. This is how much it would cost to rebuild the building as new. Depreciation, $25,000. This is the amount of value the building has lost over time. Calculation: $250,000 to $25,000 equals $225,000. This means the current value of the building is $225,000 after accounting for depreciation. Step 2. Add the land value. Land doesn't depreciate, so we simply add its full value to the adjusted building value to find the total property value. Land value, $75,000. Adjusted building value from step 1, $225,000. Calculation: $75,000 plus $225,000 equals $300,000. This gives us the total value of the property, which includes both the building and the land. So the total value of the property is $300,000. The correct answer is A. And now let's move to the last formula of this video. Depreciation. Depreciation in real estate refers to the loss of value a property experiences over time due to wear and tear, age, or obsolescence. It's essential for appraising property value and calculating tax deductions for investment properties. There are two formulas we use for depreciation. The depreciable basis formula. This calculates the portion of the property's value that can be depreciated. Since land does not depreciate, we subtract its value from the overall property value, and we can add any improvements made to the property. The formula is depreciable basis equals initial property value plus capital improvements minus land. And the other formula is the annual depreciation formula. Once we know the depreciable basis, we divide it by the depreciation term, usually 27.5 years for residential properties, to calculate the annual depreciation expense. The formula is annual depreciation equals depreciable basis divided by depreciation term. Why two formulas? The depreciable basis formula ensures we're calculating depreciation only on the building and any improvements, excluding the land. The annual depreciation formula helps property owners determine the yearly expense they can claim for tax purposes or factor into property valuations. Here is an exam question example. You're appraising an investment property and are given the following details. Property value, $500,000. Land value, $120,000. Depreciation term, 27.5 years. Capital improvements, $30,000. What is the annual depreciation amount for this property? A, $12,456. B, $14,909.09. C, $16,500. D, $18,002.03. First up, we need to calculate what's called the depreciable basis. The depreciable basis includes the building's value and any capital improvements minus the land value because land doesn't depreciate. Let's add the formula here. Depreciable basis equals initial property value plus capital improvements minus land plugging in the values. Depreciable basis equals 500,000 plus 30,000 minus 120,000. So the depreciable basis is $410,000. Now divide the depreciable basis by the depreciation term to find the annual depreciation. Annual depreciation equals depreciable basis divided by depreciation term. Plugging in the values. Annual depreciation equals 410,000 divided by 27.5. So the annual depreciation is $14,909.09. The annual depreciation for this property is $14,909.09. Answer B is the right one. That's everything for today. If you need more help, I recommend you start your exam prep with LexaWise. There you can focus on math practice exams. If this video helped, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Have an amazing day, and as always, see you next time.